Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast for 8/9/2023. Thomas Miller, 8/8, the Lionsgate yesterday. Yeah, I didn't mention that because of a couple of reasons. That one is I wanted to really get that message out about the wonk yesterday, so we focused on that. That was enough. That went over time. But the primary reason is I just have never had a grasp on it, and especially within the realm of astrology. Now, my lack of knowledge is not a reason not to observe it, but from what I understand, it's based on the sun's conjunction with Venus, and also the three planets of Orion's belt pointing towards Sirius. Well, on 8/8, the sun and Venus are applying, certainly, and we're under the realm of that conjunction. As we're waking up this morning, they are 6 degrees apart, closing that gap towards Sunday morning early. The 7:15 Sunday morning Eastern Time is when they conjoin. So I guess that's what if you were to look at the astronomical magic of the Lionsgate, the closest we could get really with astrology, I guess, would be the Sun-Venus conjunction. This Lionsgate, Venus is in retrograde, so I don't even know what to do with that. So that's why I just if you observed it and you created and you manifested, may all of everything that you put down find its way magically into your life. And in some of the audiobooks that I've narrated for Fred Dodson, he talks about Sirius. I think actually Pleiades and Our Secret Destiny, which is a great book if you want to look into some of this kind of thing. Pleiades and Our Secret Destiny he talks about Sirius in there as a very high energy planet. And of course, the three belt planets of Orion point to the Pleiades. He also talks about two very distinct and real encounters with little blue people from Pleiades, if you'd like to find out about that. So that puts in the sky Orion's belt, Pleiades on one side and Sirius on the other in a line. So that's pretty cool, but that's why I didn't talk about it, because we had some other things that I wanted to focus on. Now, let's talk about the aspect du jour, and that would be Venus squaring Uranus. Happens early, 7:08 this morning Eastern Time. Moon is also in void of course when that happens, and the moon will enter Gemini at just after 9 a.m. this morning. So we've been in this Venus squaring up to Uranus for a little while now, and Ray Merriman's been talking about this. In fact, there are some good videos on the MMA channel. If you like what Ray does, there's an interview between Giovanni and Ray on the YouTube channel that is up this week. So definitely interesting if you like looking at that connection. And they tie a lot of this together to the various stock market charts and the movements of what's going on. And Venus squaring Uranus is a big part of that. See, to me, when it affects the financial area, then I think you really have something there, because you're dealing with the most sophisticated, powerful computers on the planet. You have an auction market that is made up of people all over the world. And yet, when Venus squares Uranus last Friday, for example, the market went down hard in the afternoon. And then back to yesterday's episode, a lot of you were feeling the wonk, myself included, over the weekend. So here we are, crescendo day. So, from the you can't make this stuff up department, right? So these things, and money being one of them, Venus, money, Uranus, square, the surprise, the challenge around that, and the market is trying to find its footing. This is being recorded before yesterday's action is complete, but it looks a little soft from what I'm seeing so far. All right, now the other aspect today is 8:47 this evening, a trine between Jupiter and Mercury. We were talking yesterday about how do we manage the wonk. Well, we manage through it by how we think. Mercury. So expand your good thoughts. You have an Earth trine there, so that's a good way to ground. We mentioned that yesterday, grounding in your very positive, stable, solid, no drama thoughts. There's your golden key from the universe for dealing with the wonk. And there's a big piece of this whole Mercury thing here, because look at this. So Mercury rules Virgo. That's a Virgo-Taurus trine between Mercury and Jupiter. There's your Earth trine. Well, the moon enters Gemini, the other Mercury sign. So really today is a heavily influenced Mercurial day. And in good old Gemini fashion, we get to experience both sides of Mercury, because the Mercury in Gemini is starkly different than that Mercury ruling Virgo. Virgo wants order, Gemini, air, sometimes chaotic. Virgo wants to know where everything is. Gemini is like a butterfly. It'll go find where everything is, all over the place. I have a great friend who is a Gemini. It was the lady that I rented from her in her home in Aspen for those 2.5, 3 years that I was there. And we would sit at the kitchen table and just have wonderful conversations because I'm a Gemini rising. She was a Gemini sun. So I knew instantly, and it was so funny because we'd be into this deep Scorpio, like the topic that I wanted to go deep into. Scorpio, right? Let's cover every aspect of this. And we'd hit it for a couple of minutes, and then she'd be talking about the bridge club. It's like, and then her tennis membership that she couldn't fulfill anymore because she had scoliosis, but she was still a member of the tennis club. It was like, oh, so funny. But then we'd circle back and get back to the deep conversation, and we'd take it a level deeper, and then she was out again. And I mean, it was like you could not continue that conversation. I got used to that. I realized what that Gemini air being here and there, it's little snapshots, little dribbles. Just talk about it for a minute and then move on. But that Mercury and Virgo would sit there and talk it out with that Scorpio, and it would be a deep and productive conversation. So throw a little bit of Uranian weirdness into that, and you've got the setup for the day. But whatever you're doing, whether it's airy or Virgoan, I wish you the very best and a very happy day. We're going to take tomorrow off. There's absolutely nothing going on. Everything that was there is there. So we'll come back on Friday and be back with you on Saturday with Ray Merriman. So have a great one. I'll see you Friday.